so it is vital for you to practice your control from all angles. And that gave the gang a chance to spring a few surprises on me.
Come on, Kev, give me a tester. What are these lads like? Who taught them how to spin it? Yes.
Here, hurry.
Yeah.
Kieran. Mike. Hey, Kieran.
Oh, she's in the way.
Gina.
Yeah.
Gina.
Give me a tester, Kev. Yeah. I'll spin it back to you. Stop while I'm on fire. Right then, hands up who likes heading. Well, you're not on your own. Some of the great players have actually confessed that they hate heading the ball. In my granddad's day, some players blamed the heavy ball for causing brain damage. But even with today's lighter balls, it's still essential to head the ball with the forehead. A message the doctor keeps trying to get into my thick skull.
We just take the top off here. You can see that this part of bone is very thick. If you look at my fingers, it's nearly an inch thick. The area where you shouldn't head the ball is the side. The bone here is very thin and will cause you pain.
Many youngsters are scared of heading, so it's important to gain confidence by getting the feel of the ball on the forehead and trying to eliminate the fear factor. Having built up confidence, you must develop technique. Small jumps will help you time your headers.
Okay, taking this on to the next level now, I'm going to be feeding Faurine with the ball. She's going to be, again, arching her back and trying to get as much power as possible. Well done. So try to get your feet, if it's too long, then try to get your feet back to head it, and if it's too short, move in and head it down there, yeah? That's it, well judged. Well done. Brilliant. I'm going to throw it to me again.
Most headed goals require you to head the ball down, so this is a good way to develop that skill.
Again. And last one.
One way to build up strength are these back bending exercises, although children under 10 should avoid doing these as their backs are not strong enough. In a match, the ball will come at all angles, and you need to be agile and alert to cope with the varied height and pace. This is an ideal way to practice.
Get him. Here he is. Come on, Steve. Right, well, during this exercise, it's always important to keep your eye on the ball, because you know where the keeper is. You don't even have to look at him, you can see him out the corner of your eye. Now, depending on the flight and the pace of the ball is where you actually put it, mainly. If the ball's coming at quite a fast pace, then you don't even have to put much onto it. Whereas if it's being floated in, you've got to really put the pace on it yourself with your head. Okay, off we go. Well done. All the balls will be coming at different heights and at a different pace. So you've got to try to adjust your body to doing with that. So if it comes in hard, all you have to do is direct the header. You don't have to put any extra pace on it. Whereas if it's been a floater like that one, that's perfect. You've got to try to put pace on it yourself. To put this into a match situation now, we're going to get Simon to cross the ball. Hopefully he'll land perfectly on the head. I'm going to be on my toes, waiting for the ball to come in. What a save. Perfect, Michael, well done. Well adjusted, Stephen, that's brilliant, that. The only thing I would say there, Kieran, is I'd wait until the ball's actually played before I started moving. You just jogged in there and then he crossed it and you were standing before and you stood there heading like that. If you're actually moving onto the ball, then you can see and then you can put more power on it. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Right back in. The keeper's got no chance. If you head it down, well done, Mike. That's brilliant. Great header. Most professional clubs play skill games such as these in training, and apart from being good fun, they also improve your touch and make you a better player. Okay, make sure everyone has a touch in the team now and no heading before it goes over. That's it.
This game is perfect for increasing confidence on the ball. When the gang had shown me what they could do, it was time for me to discover a Brazilian brand of football I had never seen before.
Simon, you imported this game of football de salon into this country. Could you tell me some of the background about it?
Yeah, well, a few years ago I was lucky enough to become friends with a Brazilian player, Juninho, who at the time was at Middlesbrough, and he did some coaching with me in Leeds. And after a while he said to me, "When do you do your football de salon?" And I said, "You know, what is football de salon? I'd never heard of it." And he told me that all of the players in Brazil play this as children. It's a compulsory part of the school curriculum.
He's got great little touches, hasn't he?
When I saw the game, I couldn't believe it. It's played on a small area, basketball court sort of size, just five-a-side.
He's got everything, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
So what's the difference between a normal ball and this ball then?
It's only a size 2 compared to the 4 or 5 we'd normally use.
Yeah.
And the bladder of the ball is filled with foam as well as air, so it doesn't bounce. So the game's just about passing, dribbling, close control. The kids get a lot more touches in this type of game. Well done, Kieran. Yes! It's obviously not as great for control from the air and heading, volleying and what have you, but you pick up that in other parts of your training. But
even watching this, you can see the players wanting to pass and wanting to dribble all the time. So that's something that you don't see as much in our game at the minute, is players taking people on. So it looks as if it encourages that anyway.
I eventually went out to Brazil and met with Pelé, Zico, Rivellino, and all of these guys the same. Ronaldo too had just played this as kids and attribute all of their skills to the game.
So the idea is keeping the ball along the ground?
On the floor, exactly. I mean, like the famous 5-a-sides at Liverpool, I don't know if they still do them.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a similar idea, that as you've just said to me, all of the skills that you get in a game come out in this type of environment, and it's a great way for kids to learn and a fun way as well.
You've seen football de salon, now you're going to see mini soccer. The main difference being the size and weight of the ball.
So this uses a size 4 junior ball, and it's something the FA have tried to push with children, getting the clubs of under 9, 10 and 11 to play it on a Sunday rather than the 11-a-side game. And again, like football de salon, they're getting more touches. It's probably not as strong as football de salon on the passing and dribbling, but
I hope you got that one on camera, Joe.
in this game you can open up a little bit more on variety of shots, volleying. They can play longer passes, so this is really important as well, and it's another game that brings great benefits to the kids. They shouldn't be too worried about winning these games, even on a Sunday for the clubs, because all of that can come later, can't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think the winning after the game, I think you've got to be disappointed if you do lose, and you've got to go out trying to win. But I think the be-all and end-all is this is all being groomed for a player to actually make it in the end, and that's when you've got to be a winner when you're doing it for a living. I think it's nice to have that attitude, but as you say, the performance of the player is the main thing at this level and this age. Go on your own. Yeah.
I think it's important to get away from the game. Some people read, some people watch telly. I like to go and have a relaxing game of golf, play table tennis, play snooker, and that takes my mind totally off it. I've always, played games and always wanted to win. I'm not a brilliant golfer by any means, or a brilliant snooker player. I've always been brought up, wanting to win and being disappointed if I lose.
He's from a family of 2 other brothers and 2 sisters, and within a family like that there's always competition. Mike was the youngest of the brothers, and I think the youngest has always got to look after himself.
They play golf, snooker, football as well, so I think striving to get as good as them maybe, help develop me in a quicker manner. My dad Terry was also once a professional footballer, playing for Everton, Bradford and Chester. My dad's been important right the way through my career. He's not pushed me into doing anything I don't want to do. He's been brilliant. I can regard my dad as, my best mate. I play golf with him, play snooker with him, share all, my secrets with him.
Well, the 50-year-old's there, and the 19-year-old's just down there, so just shows you he's passed it a bit.
It's a score that counts, isn't it? Not the distance.
Can't have my dad beat me on camera. Unlucky, Dad. Unlucky. It's a half. Great shot. Killed that fella at the back of the green. Thank you.
Well done.
Another 50p you owe me.
I did a bit of boxing when I was about 11 and 12. My dad just put the suggestion to me. I think he knew the man who run the boxing club.
What Terry asked us to do is to develop Michael's strength, because as a youngster he was being pushed off the ball a lot by bigger defenders.
He realised that boxing would give him a good self-confidence, which he would apply on the football field.
Michael had 2 contests for us in the space of 12 months, and he won both contests quite easily.
I was only 11, 12, so it's hard to knock anyone out at that age. But I come out of the ring with a bloody nose and whatever, so it was a tough sport, and it was great fun.
We went down to Cornwall. While we were down there, we went fishing. We'd never done it before, so we thought we'd go out on a boat. First time I actually dangled my rod, I caught this mad redfish. I think it was a gurnard.
Yeah, what have I got? Look what I've got!
Go here.
I'm back.
Yeah, we're checking back. That's red garter. And they got a lot of spike.
Out at sea is the last place I was going to get asked for an autograph. A boat flew past and managed to notice me. Anyway, he managed to pull the boat up alongside ours, and I gave him the autograph. But I thought I was safe from all autograph hunters. But even out at sea you get asked. But after that, then we caught a few mackerel. They were coming out the sea by the dozen. And then the main fisherman caught a sea bass, and as he got it on his rod, and he knew something was big, so he called me over to try to hook it in.
Keep in the water.
And then I had a few pictures taken with it, because it was probably the biggest fish that I've certainly caught.
Put it on and then we'll put it back on so you can come water all over.
That's what I thought, by the way. Defending is just as important. Here with me is my roommate, teammate and best mate, Jamie Carragher, who's going to tell us the key to defending.
Well, the first key is obviously learning how to tackle, and we're now hopefully going to show you how it's done.
So Jamie, what's the first tackle you're going to show me?
The first tackle is going to be the block tackle. It's important that you get your body weight behind it and be strong.
Well then, don't let him past.
Oh,
well done.
Well done.
Well done, Kev.
Strong tackle.
You won't get hurt if you do it properly. That's good tackling, that. Come on then, Steve. Can you score a goal? You've got to stop him, Aid. You block tackle. Oh, great tackle. Knocked him off his feet. And even scored a goal. Well done, Aid.
Slow down,
On
slow down.
Oh!
It's a foul.
You okay, Foureen? Good
Free
tackle,
kick.
Katie. A yellow card for Katie, I feel.
You just come in a little bit too quick.